Hello, this is Mark Denham, radio presenter, audio producer, podcaster, and voiceover. Today on the audio journey, I want to show you very, very briefly the benefits of templates. By that, I mean when you go into the multitrack, if you open a standard multitrack, which I will do now, but if you open a standard multitrack, file new, it'd be helpful if I could actually get to multitrack, wouldn't it? File new multitrack session with none, which is what we've done so far. You can see you've got track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a master. Nothing at all happens there except for the fact that audio will play routed straight to the master. There are no effects, there are no buses or anything like that. If you want to set them up, you would have to set them up every time. If you are doing a lot of producing, say, commercials, voiceovers, radio, idents and stuff like that, then it may very well be that you would be much quicker in your workflow if you set up your own template to your own requirements. Now, when you load Audition by standard, you will get, for example, if we open another multi-track session here, you get some that are standard, like DJ Drop. This is a standard one that comes with Audition, and you can see here you have a chorus, you have an echo, you have a flanger, you have a track for music, and you have the master. They all go straight to the master. There are no buses involved. So if I was to close these two templates now and open my own, which surprisingly is called Mark, there it is. You can see here you have tracks for music, 1, 2, 3, 4. They all go to a music bus. Track 4 is slightly different to the rest because track 4 has on it studio reverb. So if you want to put a false ending on, then you can just drag that music to track 4, and it will have reverb on the end of it. We then have a series of voice tracks, that standard voice, and then different effects applied here to the voice. They all go to a voice bus. Then we have some tracks for sound effects, 1, 2, and 3 of sound effects. Down at the bottom are the buses: music bus, voice bus, and FX bus. Now you can see here, voice bus and FX bus go to a ducking bus. Music bus goes to the master. Ducking bus goes to the master. Why do I have a ducking bus? Well, because on the music bus, if we have a look here in the effects rack, you've got the dynamics processing. Remember we set that up to be a sidechain compressor before. Voice bus and FX bus then go to a ducking bus. And if you look at the sends, sidechained here to the compressor that we put on the voice bus. So that's how it all works. And obviously that's taken a little bit of time to set up, but what it does mean is that in terms of working, I can work a lot quicker now. Now I have here some recordings. I'm going to drag them in here, the voice recordings. I have here some recordings that my son has done. He's seen me do voiceover. He's only 4, and he therefore loves sitting in front of the microphone now and doing his own. So we have some here. At the moment, they're just on the standard voice track, which goes to the voice bus. There are no effects here on the voice track because everything there happens further down here in the voice bus. That's where all the processing is. Okay, so everything happens there. If we go back up here and we have a little look on, say, the roll off, there's a parametric equalizer, rolls off a significant amount of the low end. If we have a look on here, there is a pitch shifter. That's what that little pink line is. You can then click it and drag it up or down to get different pitch on the track as you go. There's one here that's automatically set to take a little bit of pitch off and make your voice a little deeper. We have a voice echo. We have a distortion track as well. We have a chorus track, and all of these are all there the minute you open the session. So let's have a little listen to what we've got, and we can see just how quickly we can produce something now from my son's voiceovers.
Welcome to 2020.
He's only 4. He's only 4, okay? So what we'll do is we'll get rid of that because you can hear me just at the beginning there, just like saying to him, go. He loves doing this. And then
Happy New Year.
That one he's messed up a little bit. Hang on. So we can cut that again. Control and K is your cut. Delete that. Drag it over. And
Happy New Year.
There we are. So we have our Happy New Year. What I'll do now is that is just the voice as it is.
Happy New Year.
Now, bear in mind, he's only 4, so he doesn't have much bass in his voice anyway, much low-end frequency. But if we drag it down here, you will hear a difference.
Happy New Year.
There's a little bit of a difference there. Then we could drag it down here and make it a little deeper.
Happy New Year.
Just a little bit. You don't notice much because he hasn't got all the full frequencies yet because he's 4 and his voice hasn't broken. This one here.
Happy New Year.
What you can see here is that we can now use the lines here to go up or down very, very quickly in terms of the pitch of his voice. And now we have...
Happy New Year.
That's because we've changed the pitch. That's extreme. I'm going to undo that. That's extreme, obviously. But again, if we go down, we can look at the echo.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
And these are all there for us, ready to go. So what we can now do is we can make a little basic production with some of the voices here. Just by scrolling over here, by the way, you can make these smaller so you can actually see more what you're doing. Let's just make a little bit of fun here. What we'll do is we'll copy that, let's say, to there, and then we'll copy it to... Which one was the chorus? That was the chorus. I've overwritten here, haven't I? The voice chorus label. So let me put that back, just so we're not confusing anything. What we'll do is we will put that up there as well with a copy. Take this line here in the middle, and that is your pan. So we'll take that all the way to the left. Take that all the way to the right. And if you watch now, mute off this one. Watch this.
Happy New Year.
You can see from the meters here that the two of them, one on the left, one on the right. If you are listening in headphones, you'll notice the difference.
Happy New Year.
So by doing that, I've then added a little bit of echo.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
And there we go. That's that done. All right. So we'll go up and we'll move this other one here over a little bit because we probably don't need that there that tight. But you can see here just how quickly we're producing something using these just as they are because I've already created them. In a future video, I will show you how to go about creating these. Let's look at some effects, shall we? We want maybe, because it's New Year, how about some fireworks? Okay, so there's some fireworks. We can move that, put it down here on the on the sound effects track, and then...
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
What we want is we want to just move this along a little bit so it's actually allowing the firework to establish. And...
Happy New Year.
There we are. So we can cut that straight away without worrying about any of the levels or anything like that. We have just made ourselves a very, very simple Happy New Year ident there. So just using that template in just a few moments.
Happy New Year.
And if we go back up here again, you can see that somebody has deleted it off of the echo track. Copy it, put it back, and then let's have a listen.
Happy New Year. New Year. New Year.
There we go. Quite simple. We have some more voices that we can work with here. So if we drag that back over now.
Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas.
So there we are. That Merry Christmas one. We'll make something of that now. What should we do with the Merry Christmas one? Let's have a listen.
Merry Christmas.
At the moment, that's well, it is processed, but there's no extra effects on it. It's going through all of the levelers. You can see here, I could do copy, and if you didn't have the processing on the voice bus, this would then clip because you're playing it 3 times. Because the voice bus has a speech volume leveler and a hard limiter in it, it won't clip.
Merry Christmas.
There we go. So what we could do here is we could, let's have a look at what we've got, the options that we've got here. We don't really need that on there. What we'll do is we'll hold down the shift key and you can move it. So we'll move it to, let's say move it to there. And then this is a third party effect. This is a waves effect.
Merry Christmas.
Which adds a bit of reverse reverb onto it. Now let's have a little look in our effects here, and we could drag in sleigh bells. We'll have sleigh bells, shall we? So we'll put those on that. Again, we'll just convert the sample rate. Then we can just work out where we're going to go with this.
Merry Christmas.
And it's arguable that we should just move that over just a little bit. So what we want is we want to select the voices and just allow the effect there to establish itself in the background before the voice comes in.
Merry Christmas.
Right, okay, and then we can move those along. And we just need to put a cut on the sleigh bells. And we can just add a little fade there to fade those out. So zoom in here just to open that up a little bit. Drag this in and we'll just have a little fade there. And then we've got our second one.
Merry Christmas.
And yeah, they're working. You see how quickly we're producing with this here. Let's have a little look at what else we've got to work with here.
Welcome to 2020.
Okay, we don't need that one really, do we?
No.
Okay, now we could do something with this, couldn't we? If we zoom it in here, we have a countdown. So what we'll do is we'll keep that welcome to 2020. We'll just move it out the way for now, so it's at the end. And then what we can do here is if we go to, let's start this for ease of at 25 seconds exactly. Okay, so where's we go to 25 seconds exactly, and you can see here how quickly we can work with this template that we have. So go to exactly 25 seconds. There's a reason I'm doing that. And there is the start of the 10. Okay, so cut that off and drop it. And now if you listen here, we can go through.
10.
We've just cut a little bit too much off of that, haven't we? We have cut a little bit too much off of that. Here we have. So let's just go back. And if we drag that across now, that's the 10.
10.
Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go and just cut here. So we've got the 9. And then what we can do is we can line this up so it lines up on the seconds. Again, you could do this without the template, but why? When you could then go through, once we've lined it up, and process it. There's the 9 now on the next second. So you can see.
9.
And then what we can do is we can cut this one. The 8 will then go across to the next second, which is 27. This would have been much easier if I'd started it as 0, wouldn't it? If we go to 27 and get that on exactly, drag that across. What we do want to do is drag that as well.
8.
And then you can see here what we can do is we can line these up quite easily, really. So we've got a countdown that is exactly 10 seconds rather than a countdown that's just 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We'll have that coming in. So maybe just a little early there, but we want the 8.
7.
The 7 even. 7. I've already done the 8, haven't I?
7.
Okay, and again, come along, go to 29 seconds, 28.999, go to 29,000, and we go to there.
6.
No. So we want to just drag that like that.
5.
Now, I could obviously line the whole of these up, but that's not really relevant to what we're doing. What I can show you with what we've done so far is what we can do now is if we select them and if we move them, for example, we could put them, where could we put them? If we put them here, that's going to create an awful echo, isn't it? But
10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
So maybe not the echo, but perhaps if we go down here to the reverse reverb track.
10, 9, 8, 7.
And then what we could do is we could say, again, select them all, hold down the shift key and right click, copy them up here. And then you've got a
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Now, we haven't lined up the second half of that, but you can see how easy that is to do. We just get down to the...
1. Welcome to 2020.
Okay, so there he is, just having a bit of fun at the end with his welcome to 2020. Remember, he is only 4, but you can see here what we could do is on the 1...
2. 1.
Now, we would have lined all of this up, okay? We would have lined all of this up. So what we could do here now is we could go in and let's say that we have... I know I have one here. Let's say that we get an explosion. How about that? So there's a reason I'm putting it just there. So that's now going to go off on the 0, and then you'll hear...
1. Welcome to 2020.
Now, that explosion is a little bit quiet, so
1. Welcome.
just grab the volume, turn it up just a little bit here by just pulling up the volume, and
1. Welcome to 2020.
what we could also do again, because these go through buses, they're not going to clip here, so
1. Welcome to 2020.
okay, they are going to clip here, but you can see there, like if we had obviously, if we had actually lined up all of those 10, 9, 8, which is quite easy to do, then we could have ourselves a nice little countdown there for the new year. So let's just add a hard limiter on the master. Make sure it can't distort. We are working in 32-bit floating point, so it's only digital distortion. You would be able to fix it anyway. But imagine, let's just say that we'd lined them all up.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to 2020.
That second explosion is a little louder, so we could just move that down a little bit. And then where he says...
Welcome to...
There, I'm just going to take that, and then I'm going to drag that up and put it on the echo. You see, and how quickly it is here that we are just producing because the templates are already there. Drag the volume down just a little on that because we don't want it overpowering, and
3, 2, 1. Welcome to 2020.
okay, that may not work quite as well as I thought because of the laughter on the end there. But if we were to pull it in,
Welcome to 2020.
and then there are some other effects available to us down here on the voice bus as well that we're not currently using. For example, we could put on the studio reverb.
2, 1. Welcome to 2020.
We also have the mastering effect here that we could use, which has got a bit of exciter on it again.
1.
So if you listen to that, well, I'm going to take off the loudness maximizer because the L3 Ultra Maximizer is taking care of the loudness maximizing.
To 2020.
Too much because he's only got a young voice, but you can see here.
Welcome to 2020.
And all of those, because they're on the voice bus, are affecting all of these voice tracks. Now, if we were producing this properly, we would have gone through and we would have lined up the 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to happen every second. Imagine that we had done that and we've make ourselves a little countdown to the new year very easily because of the fact that we have put together these template.
1. Welcome to 2020.
And if you're doing a lot of processing, then that's there for you and that's easy. There is one other thing that I just want to show you as to how easy this is. I'm just going to get a music bed, for example. This is copyright-free music, so we're okay here. I'm going to put it on music track 1, all right? Let's have a little listen now to music track 1. Oh. Doesn't sound ideal, does it? You know what I've done? I've got the wrong file. That's why. That's the one I was playing with. Let's have a look at this one here. Copyright-free music, so we can play it on the channel. If you are a fan of the Mentor Aviation channel, you'll recognise this. Right, okay, so if we go through now and we identify that as beat 1, we'll put a cut there because that's more than enough music. Drag that to music 4, and you will hear what we've done with that now. If we play it through... So there you've added what's called a false ending to your music. If you were to have a voiceover, I'm just trying to see whether I've got any in here that I could use. I suppose I could just use the 1098, couldn't I, again? What you will hear is that there is actually a ducking effect here on that music. So let me just put that on the voice track. Find something actually in there.
Now happy year. Happy year.
Right, okay, so if we just take a bit of this, it's not going to make any sense, but you imagine that you've recorded a voiceover. Hello, this is Mark Denham, and I'm here to advertise XYZ, and the music will duck around...
Happy New Year. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Welcome to 2020.
So you can hear there that the music is ducking every time there is speech, and that will happen no matter which one of these we put it on. Again, on the roll-off, that music will duck.
Happy New Year. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Welcome to 2020.
And then if we leave the music playing, you'll hear it fade out with that reverb. That's the benefit of having a set of presets for yourself. Although that voiceover makes absolutely no sense, it would be much better if it was an actual voiceover that would have background music. You can see here just how quickly you can stick something together. We've not had to worry about levels or anything there. We've not done anything with the levels at all other than drag the tracks in and it ducks.
Happy New Year. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Welcome to 2020.
And that ducking is all because of the sidechain compressor even. And you can look here, you see, we have plenty of tracks, 4 tracks for music. So you can mix some music in, lots of different bits of music. I'm not going to because of copyright. That's copyright free, which is fine. You can mix loads of different bits of music in. You can have many, many different effects on the voice, and that's all saved every time I open a new template to work on some form of production. Worth saying, I wouldn't use a template like this for podcast production because the processing that occurs on the voice bus is far too heavy for podcasting. But there are, down the left here, a string of vocal effects, and also you have these sound effect channels, 1, 2, and 3, and they all also go into the final mix via that ducking bus. The other thing to say here is, if all of a sudden I have 4 sound effects, all I need to do is add in, by Alt and A, an extra track. We'll just name it SFX4 and route it to the bus, the FX bus, and that's now exactly the same as the other 3 sound effects tracks. Obviously, you probably, you need to sit down, you need to think about your template when you're designing it. We will look at that in the next episode, actually how to go about building and designing a template. But I'm just showing you now the benefit of watching the next episode and then of going on and generating your own template and saving it so you can do your own productions much, much quicker. Whether it's with or without a voice, it may just be that you just want to do like some basic imaging.
Happy New Year. New Year. Merry Christmas.
And because we've done all of the hard work in creating the template, how quick was it to actually produce those? Again, now with the ducking here on the music.
Happy New Year. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Welcome to 2020.
You can hear that we are not struggling to hear the voice over the music, and that was done in virtually no time at all because we had those templates. If you'd like to find out more, watch the next episode. I'll show you how you can create a basic template for yourself, which you can then tweak and add to as and when your needs grow. So have a little think between now and then. What sort of things do you need? I'll do probably, I'm just thinking about this now, a couple of videos, maybe one for podcasting, which will come after, one for like imaging or commercials or something like that. So yeah, another couple of episodes to come on templates on the audio journey. If you have any questions, go to markdenham.com and you can ask your question via the contact page. What I may very well do is I may also play around with the rest of these, finish off that 10, 9, 8 countdown and make that available along with the Happy New Year and the Merry Christmas as well. So again, check markdenham.com and I probably will finish that off and make it available. But for the point of this, I didn't need to finish it off. I just wanted to demonstrate the effects and that you can do. Thank you so much for checking out this week's Audio Journey video. Go create yourself some fantastic audio.